The Southern Poems of the War, collected and arranged by Miss Emily V. Mason. A poem entitled, There's Life in the Old Land Yet, by F.K. Howard. Though the soil of old Maryland echoes the tread of an insolvent soldiery now, and a lurid glare reddens the sky overhead from the campfires lighted below. Though from mountain to shore the hoarse cannon roar, and from border to border are sentinels set, whose bayonets shine in unbroken line, there's life in the old land yet. Though by treacherous hearts and unloyal hands betrayed and disabled today, and deserted at need by her sons, she stands confronting an armed array. Though tyrannous might hath o'erborne the right, hath discrowned and despoiled her, and men forget, as they bow the knee, that they once were free, there's life in the old land yet. But though patient and mute, she is still undismayed, though passive, she is not subdued, though she shrinks from unsheathing her trusty blade in a fratricidal feud. Not long will she kneel when oppression's heel on her neck is by monarch or president set, and the blood even now is mantling her brow, for there's life in the old land yet. She remembers with pride what her children have done in the perilous days of yore, and will never relinquish the rights which they won or disgrace the flag they bore. Then let those beware who boastfully swear they will conquer her now, for their vaunt will be met, and the Maryland men shall be heard of again. There's life in the old land yet. July 14th, 1866. About the author. Francis Key Howard was born October 25th, 1826, and was an American newspaper editor and journalist. He was the grandson of Francis Scott Key and Revolutionary War Colonel John Agar Howard. Howard was the editor of the Daily Exchange, a Baltimore newspaper sympathetic to the Confederacy. Just after midnight on September 13, 1861, he was arrested without a warrant at his home. The basis for his arrest was the writing of an editorial printed in his newspaper that was critical of Lincoln's suspension of the writ of habeas corpus, of the declaration by the Lincoln administration of martial law in Baltimore, and of the imprisonment without charge of Baltimore Mayor George William Brown, sitting U.S. Congressman Henry May, all the police commissioners of Baltimore, and the entire city council. Lincoln's suspension of habeas corpus in Maryland had already been declared unconstitutional by the U.S. Supreme Court, but Lincoln had ignored the federal court ruling. Howard was initially confined to Fort McHenry, the same fort his grandfather, Francis Scott Key, saw withstand a British bombardment during the War of 1812, which inspired him to write the Star-Spangled Banner. He was then transferred first to Fort Lafayette in lower New York Bay off the coast of Brooklyn, then Fort Warren in Boston. He wrote a book on his experiences as a political prisoner, completed in December 1862 and published in 1863, entitled 14 Months in American Bastilles. Two of the publishers selling the book were then arrested. Frank Key Howard died May 29, 1872. Thank you for stopping by, Lady Carrie Ann. Please subscribe, like, and share. Count your many blessings every single day.